Ladies and gentlemen, this young lady, wow, she hails from California area. She's also in the hunt of RD and going to get there and go all the way to RVP, and a mother, and she's also a gifted person. So without further ado, can we show her some love before she even talks today? Let's show her some love. Miss Heather Peery.
Good morning, you guys. Hope everyone had a great Christmas. We had a nice Christmas over here, super nice. So whatever you guys were doing, as you know, it wasn't about the gifts. If you were with people and you were healthy and there's no drama, it's an excellent, excellent day. So thank you, Mr. Thomas, for just inviting me and allowing me to be here for the whole month of December. That was a good stretch and a good challenge to think of something every single Tuesday for the month. So thank you, Coach. Now I know I can do it. So that wouldn't have been possible without you inviting me. And thank you so much for this call, because like I said, it's really true that these calls really help us in our journey in growing, right, in our business, but then also personally, they've helped me so much over the years. And I'm so grateful for Mr. Thomas putting calls together like this and inviting leaders on here, because they have helped shape me and change my way of thinking and just all that. Yes, Miss Jackie Black, right? It's true. It's so true. If you plug in, and even if nothing's going on in your business and you're plugging into these calls, you are sure to learn and grow and change. And that change is all might be happening in the background, but that's okay. Because once that change is happening in the dark, I think we've heard Coach Mr. Dean Trolley talk about that. When all that's going on in the dark, later on comes to light. All that work shows up. So all right, so let's get into it. So letting go, last call of 2022 on Tuesday. Wow. So letting go. So over the last few weeks, we've talked about some really important subjects for our personal life that will also come out in our lives in business, right? And all these subjects are so great because as you guys, as I've been saying, as you're making close friendships, bonds, even just becoming family with your teams, conversations will happen, and you want to be able to help, that friend of yours, that teammate, because in ASIN, as you know, as you stay long enough and you plug into calls like this, you hang with people that are also plugging into these calls, and you meet great leaders that you're working with, like the RVPs, SVPs. You do become very close, and you do become family, and those conversations happen, and those conversations just actually help you just in life moving forward. So you want to be able to have those great conversations and answer authentically how you got through some stuff. So the last subject today of letting go, what we need to let go of to go into 2023 is let's let go of not doing what we said we're going to do. Or maybe even let's let go of maybe just thinking about what we're going to do, and we just keep it in our head and we don't actually do something with it. Okay. So sometimes that's something that's a lot of what I do. Is I don't do a lot of talking, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, or having these conversations, but I'll think about a lot of things, go, that would be really great, this would be really good, and then it just stays up there. And so for example, let's say you want to learn a new language, or an instrument, or you want to start working out. And sometimes you think, well, what you could do. You're like, okay, if I just, a lot of us know what to do. And so I'm trying to see why do we know what to do, but then we actually don't do it. So you think, okay, maybe if I just, 30 minutes a day, that's not a big deal. If I just do 30 minutes a day of looking over and studying this language, or, 30 minutes a day doing this instrument, whatever it is, or maybe I start off with 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes of working out, that's going to eventually turn into something, right? If I keep doing that each day, that makes sense, that would be great. And then we don't do it. Or you think that you're thinking about all this, do you think you're doing all this work, you're thinking about, yeah, do that, it's planned out in your head, it's not put down yet, but then you don't actually do it. So why do we do that? Why don't we actually, we spend time thinking about it, but it just stays there. How come we're not actually putting it down on paper? Or you have a really great conversation with someone about it and you're talking back and forth like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And you're kind of planning it with that person, getting your thoughts out. And it's this great conversation because you're really thinking about it, thinking about doing it, thinking about planning it. And it feels good because you're like, this is something I've been really wanting to do. And it feels good to talk about it. But maybe as you were talking, you were kind of, whether you know it or not, maybe you're kind of in this like daydream state of mind as you're talking, but you're really not serious about when this conversation's done, you're going to actually plan it out, put it on your calendar of when you're going to work on these things. I know that's been me before. It's just, and then you leave that conversation of having a really great night, a really great, meaningful conversation, but you didn't do anything with it. And I think the worst part of having a conversation like that is you see somebody who, does do something like, let's say, we'll have a conversation like that, or we'll hear somebody else have a conversation like that. Then we see an ordinary person who might have said they were going to do something, no matter what it was. They said they were going to do something and they did it. And we get all inspired and all excited because this regular person, just like us, they don't have any more giftings, they don't have any more abilities, they don't have any more of anything, but they said they were going to do something. They did it in the background each day, and then we get all inspired because now they started from here, and now, wow, look at all the progress they have now. But we just had a conversation with somebody of something we wanted to do, but we didn't like actually make a point of putting it down on paper and looking at our schedule and saying, I'm going to do this 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. But then we're all inspired when someone else does that. So my question is, why do we not actually say what we're going to do? Why do we just have a conversation about it? Why do we just think about it? And then it doesn't click for us when the regular person does that great thing and they got progress and we go, wow, that is so good. I am so proud of you. And wow, that's really inspiring. And then we kind of just move on with our day, but we don't either. I don't know what it is. So I have a couple ideas, is that we're not taking ourselves seriously, right? And then Miss Jennifer Olson actually talked about this is discipline, right? The things that for me anyways, it's like you're not taking yourself seriously with that thing you want to do. Maybe it's, like for me, it's learning a certain language, but let's say you really want to, whatever that thing is that you've been talking about for a long time, think about it. Why haven't you not started doing that yet? And then another year goes by, a few months go by. Oh, I just didn't get to it. But think about why not? It's something you really want to do. And it's something that really ignites something in you. Or if you see somebody else do it, you go, wow. And you're just in that daydream state instead of getting in action and saying, why not me? Why don't I just start? Well, it comes down to taking yourself seriously, saying, you know what, I can do this. I can actually, if I put in the time, the 30 minutes a day or whatever it is, I could do that. Taking yourself seriously, that if you start and you keep it up, let's say give yourself, the 6 months or just for the year, just being consistent and just putting in that 30 minutes a little each day. That's not long. Or if it's 20 minutes, that's nothing in a whole day, right? We do a lot of things in a day, but you actually look at your calendar, you look at your life schedule, because we work, we have families, we do all kinds of things, right? But really looking at your calendar, taking the time, discipline, right? Sitting down, looking at everything and saying, where can I fit this in? Putting it in there, go, okay, there it is. And then showing up and doing it. It's kind of like if you had a class, right? A college class, you know what day it is, right? It's on a Tuesday, Thursday, twice a week at this time. And then we drive there and we show up. So why not show up for you? Put it in your calendar and show up and do that. Right? Because I'm so glad a lot of us on this call, most of us on this call are servant leaders and cheerleaders for others. We just are. And that's great. And don't lose that, because you need that as a leader. You got to be about others. You got to be a cheerleader for others. And you got to be that servant leader. But what about getting some results for you? What about getting some results for me? Right? We can't constantly be cheering and cheering and cheering for others, and then that actually will encourage somebody else when we get results, or if we're doing something that's, advancing us, or we started from here and now we got here. That's really inspiring to people. We don't talk about it enough, but when someone is consistent and in the background doing that work in the dark, and then we see them progress, and then we see them all over here, that really encourages us. So think of that. I mean, yes, it takes work. It takes work to do anything that we want to do, right? But we're just not doing it. And it's not even a complicated answer. It's just, you got to be disciplined to sit yourself down and do it, put it, or even be disciplined to look at your schedule and put it in that calendar, really look when can I actually do this, so that you can follow through and not get in that cycle of, oh, I didn't get to it today. Oh, I messed up. But take the time to think, when can I do this, so that nothing else interferes, that every single time I have it on this day and this time, that's like my class time, right? If you, like I said, if you had a college class, you got to drive there, it's Tuesday, Thursday, the teacher's there, the class is there, you're going to show up. So you can still do that. And guess what? To do what I'm saying right now, to look at your schedule and think of your other schedules, that doesn't take 2 college degrees to do that, right? That takes you taking yourself seriously and you saying, I'm going to do this, and you're going to have the discipline and say, I'm writing it down. I'm going to take the time. I'm going to sit myself down and I'm going to think of I'm actually going to do this today. I'm going to look at all my schedules and put in, so that each day I can do this consistently. So I really want you guys to think, if there's something, or let's do this right now. If you are brave, put in the chat something, doesn't have to be a lot, don't overwhelm yourself. One thing, put one thing that for at least 5 years you've been thinking about, and you just haven't set the time aside to do yet. 5 years where you have always thought of whatever it is, and you're like, I would really like to do that, and you just haven't. Or maybe it's been 2 years or 3 years. What's something, anything, if you're brave enough? Yes, BK Waller. Finishing a script. That's my heart right there. I love that. A new language, making calls, learning guitar. Love it. Taking golf lessons and tennis lessons. Give me more. You guys are encouraging me. Give me more. Mine, I'll tell you mine. Let's see. Go to Nigeria. Sam Foster, let's plan it. Reading scriptures every day. Yes. Play piano. Yes. Joe Marshall. That's me too. Write my books. Yes. One thing, be brave. One thing, one more. So you guys hear all this? Go to Egypt. Yes. Walking outside for 30 minutes. Yes. Declutter my closet. Yes. We just think about it. Just stays in our head, right? Well, guess what? Easy answer. Discipline. Taking ourselves seriously. Just sitting down, writing a children's book, scheduling my time. Yes. So we just have to stop speaking Spanish. Yes, I'll round off. Yes, we have to stop and take the time. I know we're running here and running there. Yes, but guess what? We're not so busy that we can't sit down, be fluent in Japanese. Yes, we can't. We're honestly, we are busy, but we know that conversation. Coach Charlie talks to us about that. Like, no one's that busy where we can't sit ourselves down, and say, because I'm gonna do like me. I was doing meal prep really good for a while, and then I got off of it, and it's like, what the heck is going on? What's the deal? Why am I not making my meals? Why am I not getting to the store? Well, guess what? Discipline. You know what? I don't want to go to the grocery store. I didn't feel like it. I don't want to do that. I chose to do other things. And then what? I was like, oh man, I didn't do it again. But guess what? Can't get around it. I have to go in my calendar and say, what day am I going to the store? And then what time on this day am I making the food for the week? Sorry, it's not fun. It's discipline. If we want all these things to happen, like me, I'm somebody that wants to do all kinds of things. But guess what? It takes discipline. So when you look at that person, whoever it is, maybe there's someone that's a really great example that does a lot of things that you would like, and you go, wow, you're really inspired because you're like, how do they do this? How do they do that? They're doing so much. Well, guess what? It's discipline. The person that comes to mind, if you guys have ever studied or listened to Darren Hardy, that guy drips discipline. Him just sitting there, he's not acting, he's not putting on a show, he's not trying to be Mr. I'm personal development. You could just see that. He drips just doing the regular mundane things every day, day in and day out. And then you see him on stage and you're like, whoa, how does he do all that? He's in shape. He speaks well. He makes lots of money. He's organized. He's like got down. But guess what? It's hard work, right? We've heard someone say, and it's all disguised as hard work. That's it. That's all it is. Take yourself seriously. Go start making plans to get to Nigeria, to do those golf lessons, to learn that Japanese, to learn that Spanish. Look at your calendar, see where you can do that. Declutter your closet, sit yourself down from all the everything and do that. So instead of sitting down and, I just want to relax and I'm going to watch this TV show, sit down and do that schedule and look where can I actually do this. Take yourself seriously, right? Have the discipline and put it in there. And this is going to be one of my new things that I'm doing for, in my daily routine. Or another example for our business. A lot of times there's so many services now, right? It's awesome. But then we can get overwhelmed because we're like, where do we start? And oh shoot, I need to know this one and I need to know that one. I need to know a couple things. But guess what? They have given this amazing thing called the back office. And if we're feeling a little bit insecure about what we know, same principle applies here. Let's take the time and sit ourselves down. I'm guilty of this too. Sit ourselves down, make time. When am I going to look at my back office and look at a few videos? So I can just get a little bit, not know everything because we pass them on to the experts, right? But just look at some of those videos so we can answer one or two questions or just be a little bit familiar instead of being, I don't know. I don't know. Let's ask him. Let's ask the leader. Look at the back office, be a little bit familiar so we're more confident instead of, being worried about like, oh shoot, I forget when it's time to start somebody on my team. I forget because it doesn't happen so much. And now I'm not sure what to do on how to start them and what the process is. When are we going to sit down, make the time, look at the back office and be like, what's the order of things I do? Sit yourself down, right? We can do this. We're not that busy. It just takes what? Discipline, right? Set yourself up, discipline. And then for those other things outside of the business, it's just take yourself seriously and do that. So let's say if one of those things that you guys put down, would it, if you just did that one thing, let's say this new year starts 2023, if you just did that one thing, would that just be like, and you completed it, would that just like make your year? I know for me, like I'm going to learn Spanish this year, and I've done some things and put things in place where it's happening. And I thought, I have all these things for this year, but I thought, you know what? If I just completed that one thing for 2023, where I am fluent, and this is actually one of my dreams because I've been wanting to speak this since I was 5 years old. That's another story for later, why it hasn't happened and all these things. I said, if this one thing happens this year where I work on this and I am talking back and forth, talking Spanish, this would be the most amazing year yet. I would be so excited, so ecstatic. You probably wouldn't hear me speaking English anymore because I'd be that excited. That would just make my year. I'd be like, this is an amazing year. I learned Spanish. It's one of my dreams. Just that one thing. But I have a list of things, but just that one thing. So one of those things for you guys, if you just complete that for that year, would you be so proud and be so excited that I finally did this, whatever it is, that one thing? I know there's levels, if you're like going to declutter a closet, that can happen. And you'll be like so excited because you're like, this month I did it. And that'll lead you to something else. But let's say like, the language for somebody, or doing the golf lessons and you're actually learning and you're doing it, or you went to that, Egypt or Nigeria, you'd be like, dude, did it. So I just wanted, you guys to think why we're not doing those certain things that we want to do. And just know it's a simple answer. You don't need to listen to a bunch of stuff. It's, again, here it comes again around the corner. It's discipline and taking ourselves seriously. And I've tried to get away from it, trust me, from doing all these things I want to do, you know, from getting up early to like, maybe I don't need to do that. And then it's like, nope, I have to do all these things in a day. That's the only thing left. I have to get up early if I want to fit all these things in. I've tried to, maybe I'll just do it on this day. And it's like, nope, I got to plan it out and it needs to be here. So I've tried all the different ways that maybe it could be a little easier or maybe a little bit more fun, because I'm a super fun person and I don't want to do it unless it's fun. And I'm like, okay, I can still make it fun. But you know what? I want to be this certain person, this certain leader, and I want to do a lot of things. And guess what? It takes discipline, taking myself seriously, and just discipline. That's it. I am sorry, but not sorry. You got to sit yourself down, say what it is you want to do, and then, okay, it's in my schedule. Now you got to do it. And we know that we're all capable and able of doing this. We can show up to a class that we sign up for and we do it. We drive there, we make the time. I got to make time for parking, and I got to make time to walk to the class and to be there on time. We've all done that before, or whatever it is, something that we had to show up to. Now it's time for you guys or us to show up for us. Put it in your calendar, whatever you do, set in place, find wherever it is that you're going to learn that language, and then set the time aside in your calendar to practice it. Wherever, if you're going to find a class where they teach piano or guitar, or if you're going to do private lessons, find that person. And then in your calendar, you have that class that's there. That's easy. To get to the class is easy because you got a teacher there and you show up. But then when are you going to practice? You're going to do 30 minutes a day. What time during the day each day? And then do it, right? And then with the golf, and then with the going to the trip, whatever you save the money, plan out when you have to save money and how long it's gonna take you. Is it this year you're going? Is it next year? Is it this summer? Is it next summer? And then just do it. And then for our business, if you're like, I need to make more calls, I need to do, my peaks, like Mr. Thomas talking about 3 names and numbers, put it in your calendar. 3 peaks today. That's one of my habits. And so I think the main thing is just doing it, and it's okay if it's not always fun, right? But it's fun when we get the results, and it's fun when we get progress, and it's fun to grow, right? When we do stuff like that. So let's let go. Yes, same thing. Yes, reading 10 pages of personal development every day. How many of us have heard that? Just do 30 minutes of personal development. Just read 10 pages. And we hear that and we go, that's easy enough. Just read 10 pages. And then it doesn't happen. Oh, not bad at all. Okay, maybe not 10, maybe I can do 5. Then that doesn't happen either. So 30 minutes, 10 pages, it sounds like not a lot, but it doesn't happen. So let's sit ourselves down and put that in there too. And I'm not naturally the organized person or naturally the calendar person, but I have a very good coach, Miss Jocelyn Driscoll. I have a very good coach who is opposite of me. And so I'm so thankful to the Lord that her skills and her experience throughout the years and what she's had to do, I get to benefit from that. And has taught me, okay, this is why everything was all over the place, and I didn't know why I couldn't get to this or get to that, or why I was so overwhelmed, or why I was stuck in this net of like, oh, it's just not getting done. It's like, we gotta sit down and we gotta put it in the calendar. I know calendar to some people it just doesn't sound fun. It sounds so rigid, right? Maybe it's some to you it does, and maybe some doesn't, but it's like calendar. But we are busy people and we like to do a lot of different things. It has to be on the calendar, and successful people, that's what happens. That's what they do. That's how they get everything done. If they're starting their day at 4 a.m. and they're going until 6 p.m. I mean, everything is scheduled, going to dinner with people, spending time with people, socializing, even the fun stuff. It's just all in there. It's a different way of doing it if you haven't done it, but it's true, it works. Okay, this is coming from somebody who's totally like left side of the brain, right? Artistic, just naturally left side. So I'm not telling you something that wasn't like a challenge for me to do. I started with the calendar and was trying, and I would mess up and I didn't put it in the calendar. So just go through that journey, go through that time of messing up, if this is not natural to you to be putting something on calendars and, you know, doing this, it's okay. Just keep doing it each day and you will get it. You will get it. Okay. This is from somebody who's not naturally going to be carrying around a planner, and I'll just go, right? Want to do this? Sure. You know, and I'm not going to check the calendar. Well, guess what I'm doing now? When people ask me things, I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I got to check my schedule. Hang on. Okay. So I just want to encourage you guys with that, even with, you know, family time, that's even can be scheduled too. Because what if you're so busy doing these things and then it's like, oh no, when are we hanging out? When are me and, you know, your spouse hanging out, or you and your girlfriend or boyfriend, when are we spending our time? You got to do that too. I know. So I just want to encourage you guys for 2023. Let's let go of just keeping things in our head and not actually doing them, or talking about them and then it happening with nothing. And I would love to hear, you know, in the next few months, maybe 3 months, 4 months, maybe. Oh, how about in March? If you see me in Fort Worth, Texas, I mean, I'll be there, but I know there's a lot of people. How about in March, you're saying, hey, I've been practicing my piano all these months. Hey, I got those golf lessons. Hey, I started the book and I've been doing it each day. Oh gosh, that'd make me so happy. Hey, I'm doing guitar and I already know how to do a couple songs and I'm working on this. That would be amazing. Hey, I'm learning this, you know, I'm getting better in my Japanese. I'm doing this and this and this. That would be amazing. You just have, ooh, she said, well, yes, Miss Melissa Williams, she said, I just scheduled my trip to Egypt. Hey, I just scheduled my trip to Egypt. There you go. So that would be so amazing for me to hear that. Awesome. You don't know the whole language yet, but all these months you're working on it. It's like you only have a few more months to go till summer. Where are you going to be at summer? You just have a few more months to go till we're back here in December on the last Tuesday. And then a year under your belt of doing Japanese, a year under your belt of working on Spanish, a year under your belt of golfing, guitar, piano, writing the book, doing whatever it is you want to do. You're going to be so proud. It's going to be so amazing. So yes, it's hard work. Yes, some days you might mess up and, oh, I didn't do it today. Who cares? We already know that's going to happen. That's life. Keep going. Keep going. Hang on to it. Don't let it go. Yes, you're going to have a mess up. Oh, it's been all week. I didn't do it. Don't sit there long. Don't beat yourself up that you did. Get back on the horse. Keep going. No matter how hard it is, no matter how beat up you get. I don't care if it was a month. I didn't do it all month. Yeah. Who cares? It's a month. Keep going. Yeah, you missed a month. Okay. The year's not over yet. You still have so many days, so many months left. Okay. Keep it going because you're going to be so happy that you did and you're going to be so proud. So let's let go of just keeping it in our head. Let's let go of having conversations and daydreaming about it and do it. So plan today when you're going to sit yourself down, look at your calendar. It's going to take some time because you really got to think about all these different schedules, all these different things to do. Plan today when you're going to sit down and actually do this. Okay. And then do it. So I'm so excited for what I'm going to hear from some of you guys as the months go on of what you've been working on and the progress that you're getting because you're consistently doing it, 20 or 30 minutes a day. And it's going to be awesome. You're finally going to do it. And let's just be excited together. Let's just be excited. I can speak to you in Spanish and you're going to speak some Japanese to me and we'll just do it together and we'll laugh and we'll be like, yes. Okay. So you guys, happy 2023, happy new year. Sit yourself down. I'm going to sit myself down and do this as well. And thank you guys for having me. Thank you for listening. And I hope that this encouraged you and helped you today and all these subjects that we did for December. Okay. So I'll see you next year.